All right, so I'm just gonna record. All right, so how y'all doing today? This is the Jason Show, and I have a special guest on today. His name is Grantham Taylor Hughes, and we're going to discuss the intergalactic worlds of life, love, and gestures of all kinds. So, if I not further ado, this is Grantham Taylor Hughes.
Okay, so we're doing a video.
Yes,
Okay.
that is correct.
All right, so you're taking a video of me here and now.
Here and now.
Oh, so you're looking at me now.
That is correct.
Okay, so you're interviewing me. All right. Well, the thing I start out with most of the time is I'm talking about in 1930 there was an international bankruptcy, and the reason why I'm saying that, if everybody takes a dollar bill out of their pocket, at the very top it says Federal Reserve Note, and that means we're in a debt society. You have to understand that our money is debt. It's not credit. When people talk about credit, it doesn't exist. Okay, so we got to start from the basics of our society, where it's messed up, and how we can correct things. And that's what I'm really about. Is here to get some stasis in our world. See, we don't really have a equilibrium going on. There's not much balance in our world, and we need to find balance in order to maintain our society.
And what would you think that needs to be done, Mr. Hughes, in order to balance society again?
Well, firstly, we would probably try to get into a credit-worthy situation, but as I've been saying for a long time, it's really not possible, because when you look at the sciences, and mainly mathematics, mathematics is an individual science, but when you go out to a group of people, you get it's all fouled up. See, and that's why they went into a bankruptcy way back when, because when you try to measure in a group, it's a failure. See, we can add, each one of us can add 1 plus 1 is 2, but we get 10 people, somebody's going to come up with 3. See, so that's initially a problem that to rectify it would be the idea to get to the table and to compromise on what's really going on with the bankruptcy. You see what I mean?
And when you say bankruptcy, Mr. Hughes, what causes the bankruptcy?
What causes bankruptcy, as I said before, I'll reiterate, is a mathematics problem in the collective. You can't measure, if you take a large sampling of a population and they were to add up some accounting and bookkeeping and what have you, it'll be a failure when you're trying to do it in a group situation. So that's why the bankruptcy needs to be in place, and we have a debt society, because it's a marginal situation. In other words, you're getting if you do a large group, 100% of people, you're not really going to get 100%, you're going to get 70%, which is called the marginal efficiency of capital. You see what I mean? It's marginal, best case. That means you got 30% failure rate in our society regarding finance. And it's because that 30% failure rate, that's going to cause it to maintain a bankruptcy. You see what I mean? That's why it's good, because we don't have gold-backed money anymore. We don't have. Here's the main thing here. We don't have specie currency. That means there's nothing backing the money, and people say, "Oh, that's right, because it's paper." Well, it's legalized paper. It's called fiatization. Fiatization means, if you look at the dollar bill on the left side of Washington's face, there's a 11-word statement that says, "This note is legal tender for all debts, public and private." That's from the 1793 Coinage Act, which is suspended under Uniform Commercial Code. All right, so that shows that we're in a bankruptcy, but that paper is legalized paper. See,
And what do you think that Mr. Trump should do if he becomes president? How should that tender become something?
No, not really, because Trump is just a puppet, like all the heads of state these days. They're puppeteers, and they're not really understanding the bankruptcy. They're involved with all sorts of misinformation and miscreant nonsense, okay? So you have to appreciate the fact this is a game being played by the so-called governments that are under the United Nations. The only world government is under the United Nations, and the United Nations, it's war powers, or it's what is it? The army. Army is NATO. NATO. NATO is the world army right now, and it's the only world army that we have. Okay, what would you call that? Defense mechanism or a war machine is NATO under the United Nations. Okay, and they didn't have that until 1992 when they went into NATO went into Sarajevo.
And do you think World War III is on the brink?
Not at all. Not in the least bit. Not even close. Because the point is, because we're in a bankruptcy and there's no specie backing the money, nobody's going to plunder for paper. See, in other words, I'm not going to come to your country and try to have a battle for your trees. If I say, oh, I want your trees, right? It's like, what does that mean? If I say I want your gold, now you're going to defend the country, right? But if I say I want your trees, you're going, yeah, take the trees. You know, who cares about the dumb trees, you see? But if I say I want your gold, that's war talk, see? So there's no gold backing the money any longer, so therefore there's no warfare. It's called economic demolition. Economic demolition means if there are buildings that need to come down, they're not turning a profit, it's called ED, it's called ED, economic demolition. And see, so these country leaders know nothing about what I talk about, you see, but it's very important, the things I talk about, because I'm a Bauer Rothschild, which is the largest banking family in the world, and money runs the exoteric world. Money runs our world right now.
Now, when you talk about esoteric world, what do you mean by that, Mr. Hughes?
Well, when you have your eyes open, that's the world we're in. You look around in your world, that's your exoteric world. The esoteric world is when you close your eyes. And I don't deal with esoteric. Other people deal with that. I'm dealing with the exoteric right now to make you guys rich. See, that's my responsibility.
And what can and how will you